Today on Business Success in Six with Stacie, I have George Monterey here, owner of Defense Combatives, also known as DEFCOM, and he is located in Watertown, Fort Atkinson, as well as Oak Creek, Wisconsin. George, thanks for jumping on with me.
Well, thank you for having me.
This is my pleasure. I always tell my children everybody deserves to feel safe and loved, and your business and mission does both of those. So if you don't mind, do you mind if we talk about Defense Combatives?
Not at all. I'll be very happy for that.
All right, well, here we go. When people ask you what DEFCOM, Defense Combatives, does, how do you describe your business?
In short, I tell people, well, what do you guys do? I said, we kill people, right? But jokingly, but what we do is teach people to defend themselves in real life situations. We're the pretty much the only actual self-defense school in Wisconsin. We're the number one self-defense school for sure. And we do this through Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, judo, boxing, kickboxing, and MMA. Now, people hear that and they know that those are sports, but we use it as a combative means to be able to help people stay alive.
Hmm. So important. Now, secondly, thank you for your service. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your service, how you got into this. And my second question is, what were your plans when you started your business and how have they changed? But if you want to go back a little bit further and share your real life experience, that's okay.
Sure. So I'm a Marine. I spent almost 8 years in the Marine Corps, two back-to-back tours overseas, and I was an infantryman. And being in the infantry, I did a lot in the Marine Corps. And my time in the Marine Corps was awesome. It was like a movie. But one of my jobs was a hand-to-hand combat instructor, Marine Corps martial arts program or the MCMAP program.
Okay.
And when I got out, I did some odd jobs here and there. But long story short, when I finally ended up deciding to open up a school, and it was for self-defense. I wanted to make sure that people knew how to defend themselves. And as time went on, I should say, we grew and evolved to what we are now. But I'm very happy to say that our mission never changed.
Wow.
No matter what style we used or whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, it is still about keeping people safe, keeping people alive, having that combative mindset to be able to, not just feel safe, because you can feel safe and not be safe, you know,
Yeah. Oh, very good
but
point.
actually, yeah, but actually be confident in your skill set to keep yourself safe and your family and your friends and people around you. You
Yeah.
know, like you tell your boys, everybody has a right to feel safe and feel loved. On I have certain rules for my kids, and one of the top rules for them is don't have friends that don't know how to fight. You know,
Oh, interesting. Very
yeah,
interesting. So tell me a little bit more. I'm going to unpack this just a little bit more. Your headquarters is in Watertown, and then you
yes,
said you have two other locations that you call the
yes.
Alpha and
Alpha
Bravo.
Company and Bravo Company,
I
yes.
love that. Tell me, when you originally started, were you planning on multiple locations, or how did it grow?
It's funny. I guess like most entrepreneurs that well, let me go back a little bit. So we've talked about reading, right?
What?
Like I told you, leaders are readers. And one of the things that I think a lot of people don't understand is when they go into business, most people go into business thinking they're entrepreneurs when they're actually self-employed people, right? And
Hmm.
and if I'm gonna name drop, I'd be name dropping Rich Dad Poor Dad in the cash flow quadrant here, where people
Good book.
don't understand. They think, I'm in business for myself, and what you are is you're self-employed,
Hmm.
and you bought your job. You know what I mean? If you leave, that company falls apart. And I started that way. Most people start off that way, where they're self-employed, and I didn't understand at that point how I could grow. But once I started figuring it out, you read a little bit more, you get coached, right? You just figure all that stuff out. And over time, I realized, holy moly, um, if I want to actually be um, teaching and preaching and practicing all this kind of stuff, right? I need to grow. I need to spread this word out. I need to be able to be duplicatable. And that's what I started doing over. I mean, it took me a few years to figure it out, right?
Sure.
I'm a Marine, right? I'm not a rocket scientist. So it took me a little bit. So, but I did. Started training people to training trainers, right?
Yes.
And then expanding from there. And the hard part, not the hard part, but the most important part there is making sure that you bring on a team that buys into your vision, right? They
Mhm.
also have to have this desire to help people, make better versions of other people, and make them dangerous, right? Like this is not a selfish role. People have to be selfless and understanding that we're teaching people everything that we know, and if you're a good instructor, if you're a good coach, you're not going to hold anything back just because this person might get better than you. And
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to lead them to be stronger and wiser and like you said, better versions of themselves. So that's an incredible story about the growth plan there. This next question is going to be really easy for you. I know. My next question is, what is the biggest way you impact the community? So you're doing it. So do you want to share a little bit more? I know we already talked about it.
yeah, so the biggest way I think we impact the community is actually, I think it's a little bit different than what most people would expect. I think people will say, "Oh, well, you're keeping people safe and you're teaching people to be," but what I think the real impact is bringing people together, actually having a community, you know,
Well,
because everybody walks in as an individual and people walk in actually very scared, right? If martial arts or self-defense was very popular, our schools would be jam-packed. You couldn't fit any more people in, right? But there's not. We always have room for more because most people don't understand. They're afraid, and people have more excuses than the devil's got sinners, man. I'll tell you, it's hilarious because people, oh, I'm too old. I'm not old enough. I'm too big. I'm too small. I'm too I'm too weak. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna hurt people. I'm too strong. Everybody's got an excuse of why they don't want to start. But at the end of the day, and I'll challenge anybody to this, they're just afraid.
yeah.
They're afraid of the outcome, you know.
I love
But
how you
bringing people together, that's
together.
where it's at.
Yeah. That is so cool. Yeah, I mean, all of those things, but the bringing community together is, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So, what is one challenge that you have faced that other business owners could learn from?
Ooh, wow, I got a list. I got a list. But a challenge that other businesses, say it one more time, a challenge that other business owners could learn from.
Yeah,
Did I
something
get
that
that
you
right?
experience and, like hindsight is always 2020, but if somebody could avoid making not even necessarily a mistake, but because we learn and grow from all of our challenges, but what is one thing, if you're like, if you really want to succeed, would you?
If you really want to succeed, I would say, man, I don't know if I remember reading this one. I should have been more prepared for this one
No,
because this is
no, you're doing
this is
great.
actually
But
very
that
important.
challenge,
You know,
like if you could avoid making that mistake, and that got you to the next level, but you had to learn from that challenge. What do you think that is? You talk about
so
um, mhm.
I think what comes to mind is a couple of things. One would be something that I never forget. I always told my teacher. He was my 10th grade history teacher. He told me this, and I've kept it in my mind my whole life ever since he told me this. And he said, "Experience is the slowest way to learn." Right? Experience is the slowest way to learn. And so, one, if you can, don't think that you know everything. It's okay to make mistakes, right? Make mistakes, but don't dwell on them, right? Make mistakes and bounce right back, right?
Yes.
If you're down, get back up as quickly as possible because business doesn't care about your feelings. Money, I mean, you don't go into business to not make money, right? That's what
Totally.
nonprofits are for. That's fine.
Yep.
But if you're going to be in business, you have to be willing to accept the money that comes your way, right? And money doesn't care about your feelings, right? Money doesn't care about time off. Money doesn't care about any of that kind of stuff, right? Those are
Mhm.
human aspects of things. So once you're down, you lose a client, you get beat up, the world kicks you in your teeth. That's okay. but it's not okay to stay down. It's not okay to quit. It's not okay to give up. You got to keep going. But
Totally.
experience is the slowest way to learn was huge for me in everything that I did, right? And I know that kind of ties into what you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Find somebody to be your rabbit, right? Find somebody that you're always trying to catch. Find somebody
Mm-hmm.
that knows more than you, that has done that, and the best way that I found is find somebody who has a lifestyle that you want, right?
Yes. Yep.
Find somebody who has the lifestyle. Maybe if it's a house that you like, if it's a car that you like, if it's their relationships, if it's their morals, right? Hopefully all of it, right? You want to
Yeah.
find and you want to
That whole
chase somebody
package.
who's got the whole package, right? But find somebody who has what you want. Ask them how they got it. How did you
Mm.
do that, right? Most people I've noticed, most successful people are very happy and willing to share with you how they did it, right?
Cool.
There's
And
very
most
few
people don't
people,
ask, right? People don't
most people
ask.
don't ask. Yeah.
Oh.
And at the cost of making myself look like a fool, I've asked, you
Mm.
know, and I've become very, very successful with it because people are so excited. And it's funny, these guys that are millionaires, when coming up, looking at these guys that are millionaires, and I was like, hey, man, can I take you out to lunch? And they laugh at me, because they knew I was a
You're
young
like,
kid that didn't have much
sure.
money or whatnot, but I was willing to invest
Yes.
that
Yeah.
20, $30 or whatever it was to take this millionaire out to lunch and pick their brain. And it
Mhm.
was, the conversations were so cool. They're priceless, you know? Um, so, I mean, experience is the slowest way to learn. You got to find your rabbit. You got to find somebody to chase. You got to find somebody that has what you want. And it's not that you're going to take it from them.
Nope.
There's more than enough in this world, more than
Yes.
enough money, more than enough everything to get what you want. So just because I'm winning doesn't mean somebody else has to lose. You know what I mean?
That's that abundance mindset. And it's so like,
Yes.
yeah, there's enough for all of us. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. So tell me, George, what does the future look like to you? And do you have an exit plan?
Oh my God, the future is amazing. Are you kidding me? I love my life. I love my life. I could literally do this the rest of my life. You know, I have such an awesome life. I couldn't say that many years ago. You know what I mean? I finally got comfortable with my life. And it keeps getting better. It's amazing. You know, my I live in an awesome place. I have a wonderful family around me. I have such cool stuff. Um, it's stuff and not the stuff, you know what I mean? But like my
The
family, my friends, my
experiences.
community,
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think
but
you're
my
going to
exit,
grow like another
yes.
three locations? So do you think you're going to go beyond that, or are you going to sell and walk away? What are you going to do?
So funny you say that. My ultimate goal in life, my retirement looks really cool. So retirement for me means something different than most people.
Okay.
Retirement for me means that I work because I want to, not because I have to, right?
Boom. Yep.
And so I'm very, very close. I'm probably going to actually work another couple of years and then I'll be done, which is really cool. But my retirement is to teach and travel. That's what I want to do. I love teaching. It's my calling. It's what I'm supposed to do in this life. I'm supposed to be helping people get better. I'm supposed to be helping people become more dangerous. And that's expanded, right? I become more dangerous physically, become more dangerous mentally, become more dangerous in a sense of intellectually.
Yeah.
That's huge. You know,
Yeah.
um, so I'm very willing and happy to sell any one of my businesses. Right, like I told you before, I have several businesses. I have a security firm, I have a gym, I have an entertainment business where we do axe throwing. We got batting cages. We got the
Fun.
nonprofit. We have a bunch of stuff going on, and I'd be very happy to sell any of that. But I'm not selling my schools. That is something that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm meant to do in this life, and I'm convinced of that.
Love that. So my final question for you is all subjects open. What inspires you most?
What inspires me most? Winning. just winning. And it's not just me winning, which is awesome, which is why I realized, why do people watch sports? Why do people watch the Olympics? Why do people like people winning? You know,
Yes, absolutely.
and it's better when your team wins, right? But all in all, man, winning is exciting. Winning is fun, and I'm very happy now that winning looks different for me in my life. To me, if I love getting the stories back when people go, you know what, I had to defend myself, and I just heard your voice in my head. I had to defend myself, and I can't thank you
Mhm.
enough for the things that you taught me. You know, um, I had to defend somebody else. When people feel that confidence again and all that, that's a win. That's a huge win for me.
Yep.
And so what inspires me is winning. It just does that feeling of success, that feeling of knowing that I left a mark in this world, that I made a difference in people's lives. I think that's a huge motivator for me.
That's a huge win, right? That is just in itself
Yes.
a huge win. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Now, if somebody wants to connect with you and learn from defense combatives or talk to you in other ways, coaching, whatnot, what is the best way for them to get in contact?
Literally the best way to get a hold of me is a phone call.
Okay.
I mean, it is.
Do you want those
Um,
phone calls coming in?
I would love the phone calls coming in. I would love the phone calls coming in. So the as business grew and evolved,
Mhm.
um, I have people checking my emails now. It's really weird. I have people doing stuff for me, which is great. But if somebody actually wanted to get a hold of me seriously for anything, I tell people all the time, just give me a call. If I can pick up, I definitely will pick up. Um, if they leave me a message, I call them back. I'm very active that way because again, I believe in what we do. I believe 100% in what we're doing, and I never want to get to a point where I feel that um, I I can't take somebody's call. That I feel that I'm better than somebody or something like that because it's not. Now I have boundaries, obviously, right? I
Yep.
I don't take
Yeah,
calls, and I don't take calls at 9 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? I don't
totally.
take calls at certain times, but yeah, I love hearing people's story. I love being able to make a difference, and yeah, if people want to give me a call, I'd be very happy to give them the number and
That's so great.
websites and all that sort of stuff.
So, and they can go to the website and they can also follow you on social media, right?
Yes.
Tell me the website quick, if you don't mind.
So it's defcomma.com. So it's a DEFCOMMA.com is for our school. And on Instagram and Facebook and all that, it's DEFCOM or Defense Combatives. You can reach it or you can look it up. I mean, we're the only ones,
Yep.
you
And
know.
you have several locations, which I noticed on Facebook as
Yes,
well. So they can actually choose that location if they want to get lessons or something or get that membership, right?
correct, correct.
Awesome. George, thank you so much for your time today. Good luck and keep on with your mission. It's an incredible one
Thank
and
you.
the world needs us or people like you. I was going to say we need people like you sharing and training. So thank you so much, George.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.